Today, a surprising method involving salt is being shared, something that many adults around the world may not expect. At this moment, a question naturally arises. Is it truly possible for a person around 70 years old to achieve smoother, more radiant skin with reduced wrinkles without using laser procedures or very costly skincare products? The answer is yes. This outcome can be achieved through a very simple and low-cost mask made from an ingredient commonly found in most homes, which may visibly improve skin appearance. However, there is an important detail. Many individuals apply this ingredient incorrectly, which is why they do not experience the expected results. The proper preparation method will be explained later, and that is what determines whether visible improvement occurs or nothing changes at all. As people pass the age of 50, the skin begins to shift noticeably. Many have likely observed this change already. At a certain point, moisturizing or using thicker creams alone is no longer sufficient. The reason is clear. Inside the skin, natural processes begin to slow down. Cell renewal becomes less active, collagen production decreases, blood circulation becomes less efficient, and the protective surface layer weakens. Over time, the internal functioning of the skin gradually changes. This is not simply a cosmetic issue. Skin is a living organ, just like other parts of the body, and it responds directly to aging as well as daily habits. Stress, sun exposure, nutrition, hormonal shifts, and sleep quality all influence its condition. Many adults express a similar concern, noting that their skin no longer responds as it once did, even when using high-quality creams. This observation is accurate. Mature skin operates under a different biological rhythm, slower and more selective, rather than being damaged. This leads to an important question. When the skin changes, what is the right approach to support it? The answer is not increasing the number of products or turning immediately to harsh procedures. What is needed is a gentle yet effective method that works in harmony with the skin's natural structure and gradually helps restore its functions. To achieve this, 3 essential needs must be addressed together. If even one is missing, visible improvement is unlikely. The first need is cleansing and release. The skin must be cleared of accumulated dead cells, blocked residues, and subtle micro-level inflammation that is not always visible, but contributes to aging over time. The second need is stimulation. Once the surface is clearer, the skin should be encouraged to activate its natural processes again. This includes improving microcirculation, supporting hydration, enhancing repair activity, and boosting internal nutrient production. The third need is nourishment. Mature skin requires substances it can truly absorb and use, not just surface-level products. It needs elements that function like nourishment for the skin's structure, strengthening it from within. When these 3 aspects are understood together, skincare becomes more meaningful and complete, rather than focusing only on surface symptoms such as dryness, loss of firmness, or wrinkles. Treating only visible signs without addressing underlying causes is a common mistake. It is similar to trying to grow a plant without improving soil quality or providing proper water. The issue is not the visible outcome, but the underlying condition. Before continuing, the focus shifts to specific ingredients chosen for their combined effects. Each one plays a distinct role, and when used together correctly, they help restore balance, hydration, and brightness to mature skin. The first ingredient is sea salt or pink salt. Its main role is to gently exfoliate the skin, removing the outer layer of dead cells that often blocks absorption. Without this step, creams, serums, and oils cannot properly penetrate the skin's surface, remaining ineffective. Beyond exfoliation, salt also contains minerals such as magnesium and calcium, which support skin balance and overall condition. Another important effect is improved microcirculation. When blood flow increases in the skin, oxygen and nutrients are delivered more efficiently, enhancing natural repair processes. This is why skin often appears brighter shortly after exfoliation. It is a biological response rather than a visual trick. The second ingredient is raw honey. While salt prepares the skin, honey focuses on hydration. It helps draw moisture into the skin and retain it for extended periods, offering deeper hydration than surface creams alone. Honey also provides a calming effect, reducing irritation and supporting repair processes. It contains bioadhesive characteristics, meaning it lightly clings to the skin and forms a moist environment that supports cellular renewal. When skin remains hydrated, it retains flexibility and resilience, making wrinkles less prominent. Dry skin, in contrast, becomes fragile and less elastic. The third ingredient is extra virgin olive oil. This component supplies essential fatty acids and vitamin E, both of which help reinforce the skin's protective barrier. Over time, this barrier weakens, leading to increased moisture loss and a rougher texture. Olive oil helps restore this protective layer, supporting smoother and more resilient skin. Today, specialists view the integrity of the skin barrier as one of the most reliable signs of skin aging. When this barrier remains strong and intact, the skin tends to appear firmer, denser, and more resistant overall. Another key point is that olive oil contains antioxidants, which help defend collagen from oxidative stress, one of the major factors linked to deep wrinkle formation over time. The final ingredient introduced is plain unsweetened yogurt. This element often surprises people because it contains lactic acid. Lactic acid provides a mild form of chemical exfoliation. An interesting effect appears here. Salt works mainly on the surface through physical exfoliation, while lactic acid acts more gently and reaches deeper layers. In this way, salt operates externally and lactic acid functions internally. This is why the two complement each other effectively. Yogurt offers more than exfoliation. It also contains probiotics, which are beneficial microorganisms that help regulate the skin microbiome. This microbiome is a natural community of good bacteria living on the skin that performs protective roles. When this balance improves, redness decreases, irritation is reduced, and the skin often appears brighter and more even in tone. At this point, it is emphasized that attention should be maintained until the end because the correct method of preparing and applying the mask determines whether its effects are fully achieved. When these ingredients are combined, the result is not just a simple mask. It becomes a system that works on 3 levels simultaneously. It releases, it stimulates, and it nourishes. When these 3 actions occur together, the skin does not only improve in appearance, it also begins to function in a healthier way, becoming more responsive, more active, and more capable of self-regeneration. Before explaining how to mix the ingredients, there is an important point that is often overlooked. Many people make common mistakes when using these materials at home, both women and older men. These mistakes can turn a potentially beneficial mask into one that irritates the skin or produces weak results. The first mistake is using salt too aggressively, treating it like a scrubbing tool. Mature skin cannot tolerate strong friction. After the age of 55 or 60, the epidermis becomes thinner and its lipid layer decreases. Because of this, exfoliation must remain very gentle. Some people believe that stronger rubbing produces better results. In reality, it leads to micro-damage, increased inflammation, and greater dryness. Over time, the skin also loses part of its natural cushioning ability. Pressure that was once harmless may now cause redness, peeling, or small cracks. Therefore, when using salt, the goal is not to scrape the skin, but to softly stimulate and prepare it in a controlled manner. The second mistake is relying on industrial or pasteurized honey while assuming all honey behaves the same. Raw honey is a natural substance rich in enzymes, antioxidants, and active compounds. When it is pasteurized through heating to improve liquidity and commercial appearance, many of these beneficial elements are destroyed. As a result, the moisturizing and regenerative effects are significantly reduced. It is important to understand that mature skin requires ingredients with real biological activity. Raw honey provides moisturizing, soothing, antioxidant, and antibacterial effects that help maintain a protective skin environment. Once pasteurization removes these active properties, what remains is mostly sugar, which delivers far weaker or even negative results. The third frequent mistake is applying oils without preparing the skin first. Many people assume oil equals hydration, but oil does not hydrate. Instead, it acts as a sealing layer. It locks in moisture already present in the skin. If applied before proper cleansing or hydration, it can trap dead cells and impurities, making it harder for nutrients to be absorbed. True hydration comes from water, not oil. The skin needs water first to restore elasticity. Oil should only be applied afterward to prevent moisture loss. When used incorrectly, it blocks benefits instead of supporting them. Another common error is using sweetened or flavored yogurt simply because it is available at home. Added sugar and artificial ingredients can irritate the skin and create an inflammatory response. In many processed yogurts, beneficial probiotics are also reduced or completely absent. This is why plain yogurt without sugar and with active cultures is required. There is an important concept here. Mature skin is more prone to low-level inflammation associated with aging. When sugar and chemical additives are applied to such skin, they do not support hydration. Instead, they contribute to this underlying inflammation and accelerate aging effects. Another mistake is leaving the mask on for too long. Many assume that longer application increases effectiveness. In mature skin, the opposite occurs. Excess exposure can lead to irritation, dehydration, and increased sensitivity. The skin requires stimulation, but not excessive stress. This is because mature skin regulates moisture more slowly and repairs its barrier less efficiently. When active ingredients remain too long, they place pressure on a system that is already slower. In this case, more does not mean better. What matters is the correct duration, applied with respect for skin biology. It is also common for some individuals to use the mask repeatedly over consecutive days, expecting faster results. However, mature skin needs time to recover and rebuild its protective barrier. Overstimulation leads not to regeneration, but to fatigue. This can be compared to physical exercise. Muscle tissue does not grow during training but during rest. Skin follows a similar pattern. Without recovery time, stimulation leads to wear rather than improvement. Another often overlooked mistake is failing to observe how the skin reacts individually. Every skin type is different. Some are thinner, some are more reactive, others are dry or prone to inflammation. A natural ingredient does not automatically mean it is safe for everyone. The most appropriate approach is to begin gradually and carefully monitor the skin's response. These signals often provide the most accurate guidance about what the skin truly needs. Before moving into the practical application, there is an essential point that is rarely explained, yet considered crucial from a medical perspective. It concerns the best time of day to apply the treatment and how it should be integrated into the daily routine of older individuals. It is not only about selecting the right ingredients. The timing and method of use are equally important. Many people struggle to achieve expected results even when they use high-quality ingredients or follow well-structured formulations. The issue is not always the composition itself. Often, it is the context in which it is applied. This practice should remain simple, light, and not disruptive to everyday life. It must naturally fit into existing routines rather than force changes. This becomes particularly important after the age of 60, when daily habits are usually stable, including rest schedules, meals, and activities. Any new routine must adapt to that established structure instead of disrupting it. A common mistake is focusing only on what is used while ignoring when and how it is used. In the human body, biological rhythms are just as important as the ingredients themselves. A proper formula alone is not enough. It must also work in harmony with physiology. The skin, like other organs, follows biological rhythms closely linked to the circadian system, which regulates many bodily functions throughout the day. During daytime hours, the skin's primary role is protection. It is constantly exposed to weather conditions, ultraviolet radiation, temperature changes, and environmental pollution. It functions as an active barrier, defending the body against external stressors such as wind, cold, heat, sunlight, and airborne pollutants. At night, the situation changes completely. Once nighttime begins, the skin shifts into a repair state. Blood circulation increases, structural protein production rises, and cellular regeneration processes are activated. During this period, tissues are repaired, fibers are reorganized, and cells that experienced daytime stress are renewed. For this reason, many regenerative processes become more active during nighttime rest. Treatments aimed at nourishment, stimulation, or texture. Improvement tend to be more effective at specific hours. This difference between day and night is not a minor detail. It is connected to the circadian system, hormone activity such as cortisol, cellular metabolism, and skin microcirculation. Cortisol levels, for example, rise during the day to maintain alertness and activity. As evening approaches, these levels gradually decrease, allowing the body to shift into a more restorative state. During the day, the skin prioritizes protection and barrier function. At night, with fewer external stimuli, energy is redirected toward tissue repair, collagen synthesis, and lipid restoration. This is the time when elasticity recovery and internal balance restoration occur more efficiently. This principle is well established in dermatology, although it is not always applied in daily routines. This raises a practical question about timing. A suitable moment to apply the mask is in the late afternoon or evening, between 18 hours and 21 hours. During this period, overall body activity begins to slow. Cortisol levels decrease, and the skin is less exposed to external environmental stress. This timing is especially beneficial for older individuals, whose skin barrier is often more fragile and sensitive to daily environmental changes. In addition, this period often coincides with the end of daily responsibilities, allowing time for personal care without pressure or urgency. Another appropriate moment is before sleep, provided the skin is not irritated or overly sensitive. However, it is important to remember that the mask should not be left on overnight. It should be applied, kept for the recommended duration, then properly removed, followed by a simple moisturizing cream to support the nighttime repair phase. During sleep, the skin absorbs nutrients more effectively and responds better to regenerative stimuli. At this time, older individuals are generally calmer, with fewer distractions, which helps maintain consistency in the routine. In medical practice, consistency over time is often more important than complexity or intensity of treatment. Simple routines that can be maintained regularly tend to produce better long-term outcomes than complicated ones. There are also moments when this mask should not be used. It is not advisable to apply it before sun exposure, especially when going outdoors for walking or errands. Even gentle exfoliation using salt and lactic acid can temporarily increase skin sensitivity to ultraviolet radiation. After exfoliation, the skin becomes more vulnerable for a short period, so recovery in a calm environment is preferred. It is also not recommended to use the mask immediately before exercise. Increased body temperature, sweating, and heightened blood flow may irritate recently stimulated skin and disrupt its balance. Sweat can also alter skin pH, interfering with the effects of the ingredients. Another common mistake is applying the mask in the morning while rushing through daily preparations. In the morning, the skin is in a protective mode rather than a regenerative one. When applied hastily, the mask may be used incorrectly, left on too long, or removed improperly. Stress and time pressure further reduce the quality of application. For many older individuals with structured routines or those living alone, it is helpful to associate this care with existing daily activities. It may be done while watching evening news, listening to the radio, or enjoying a program after dinner. Another suitable moment is after an evening shower, when the skin is more receptive due to increased surface moisture. It can also be integrated into calm preparation for the next day, provided there is no rush or stress. Some individuals incorporate it into a personal care ritual, which not only supports the skin, but also creates a moment of calm and routine stability. In clinical observation, such integration matters. When a habit naturally fits into daily life, it is more likely to be maintained. When it requires major routine changes, it is often abandoned. It is important that this process does not become a burden or obligation. Care for mature skin should remain gentle, gradual, and aligned with individual pace. When introduced without pressure or unrealistic expectations, it is more sustainable. Consistency is what produces visible change in mature skin, not aggressive or excessive intervention. In conclusion, what matters most is not intensity, but regularity. The final question remains about where the viewer is watching from. Please leave your thoughts about this content in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.